There are moments in life that feel like endings. The kind of moments that leave you staring at the ground, wondering where everything went wrong. For Emily Carter, that moment arrived on an ordinary Tuesday morning. She stepped out of a family courthouse with nothing but a small cardboard box in her hands. Inside it were a few framed photographs, a wedding ring she no longer wanted, and a stack of legal documents that officially ended 12 years of marriage. No cameras waited outside. No reporters asked questions. To everyone passing by, she was just another divorced woman trying to start over. But if anyone had looked closely, they would have seen something remarkable. Not hope, not confidence, but the quiet strength of someone who had already survived more pain than most people ever would. Emily had no idea that before the day was over, the entire world would know her name. Emily wasn't wealthy. She wasn't famous. She wasn't connected to powerful families or billion-dollar businesses. She taught literature at a small community college outside Boston. Her apartment was modest. Her car had nearly 200,000 miles on it. And after the divorce, even paying rent became uncertain. Every dollar mattered. Every decision felt heavier than the last. Yet, despite everything, Emily never blamed anyone but herself. She believed love simply hadn't been enough. She had spent years trying to save a marriage that had quietly fallen apart. While she fought to hold it together, her husband had already decided to let it go. David Carter wasn't a cruel man. At least, that's what everyone believed. He was intelligent, well-dressed, ambitious. The kind of man who always seemed to know where success was hiding. But ambition has a dangerous habit. Sometimes, it convinces people that loyalty is only valuable when it's profitable. Months before filing for divorce, David had started changing. Late nights at work became normal. Conversations became arguments. Arguments became silence. Silence eventually became signatures on legal documents. The official reason was irreconcilable differences. But sometimes, those 4 words hide 1,000 untold stories. 48 hours later, thousands of miles away, New York City, inside one of the most heavily guarded penthouses in America, a man stared through floor-to-ceiling windows at a skyline he had helped build. Richard Sterling. Business magazines called him the architect of modern finance. Governments sought his advice. Presidents requested private meetings. His companies owned ports, energy fields, artificial intelligence laboratories, shipping fleets, luxury hotels, banks, media corporations, and investments spread across nearly every continent. Some estimated his wealth at over $1 trillion. Others believed even that number was too small. Yet very few people knew the truth. Richard Sterling had only one regret. It wasn't money. It wasn't power. It wasn't success. It was a daughter who believed he had abandoned her. When Emily was born, Richard was watching carefully. Richard reaches toward the child, but another man closes the door. Years pass in silence. Birthday after birthday. Graduation after graduation. Richard watches from a distance, never speaking, never introducing himself, always protecting, always hiding. Why? Because decades earlier, someone inside his empire had sworn that no member of Richard Sterling's bloodline would ever inherit his fortune. To protect Emily, Richard disappeared from her life completely. She grew up believing her father never cared. The truth was far more heartbreaking. On the night before his death, Richard summoned his personal attorney. No assistants, no executives, no board members, only one trusted friend. He slid a sealed envelope across the table. "Make sure she receives this." The attorney frowned. "Are you certain?" Richard smiled. "For the first time in my life, I'm doing the right thing. What if they try to stop her?" Richard looked toward the city lights. "They will. They've been waiting for this moment for 30 years. The lawyer hesitated. "Then why tell her now?" Richard closed his eyes. "Because time has finally run out." At exactly 2 to 17 the following morning, every monitor in Richard Sterling's private medical suite went silent. The world's richest man was gone. Within minutes, encrypted phone calls began crossing continents. Private jets were fueled. Emergency board meetings were scheduled. Television networks interrupted regular programming. No one knew it yet, but hidden inside a single envelope was a name that would shock the financial world. A name so unexpected, it would destroy powerful alliances, expose decades of deception, and make one recently divorced schoolteacher the target of people who would kill to protect a fortune. That name was Emily Carter, and she still had absolutely no idea.